What's going on, everybody? And I hope you're enjoying your Sunday afternoon so far. This is NYG Jeffy T85 here, and I'm going to talk real quickly about some of the cuts that the New York Mets have reassigned some of their minor league players while we're getting closer and closer to the beginning of the Major League Baseball season. The New York Mets are continuing to cut down their roster right now as they get ready for the baseball season that will begin at the end of March/early April. And today the New York Mets made at least 6 players. They reassigned 6 players today to their minor league system. And of those 6 players, 2 of them are top prospects. Catcher Kevin Parada, who was a first-round pick for the New York Mets. Center fielder Alex Ramirez, their highly regarded outfield prospect. And pitchers Connor Gray, Grant Hartwig, Eric Orze, and Josh Walker have all been reassigned. The Mets originally invited 15 players to Major League Camp. After cutting 6 of them, 9 of those players officially remain. So there's 9 players from the camp that the Mets originally invited from their minor leagues that are now officially still part of the camp, but we'll have to wait and see out of those players that are going to still be listed as maybe a chance to make the New York Mets roster going forward into the rest of spring training and so on. Obviously, out of those players, the 2 most notable names are Ramirez and Parada. Ramirez, who is right now the number 4 prospect in the New York Mets farm system, he went 4 for 17 during spring training in his at-bats with 1 walk, and he had 3 runs scored as well as 1 RBI, but he also struck out 7 times and was caught stealing. So, obviously Ramirez, he's only a young player. He's only about 20 years, like 19, 20 years old. He's got a lot of developing still to do, and he's expected to begin the season with High A Brooklyn. So he hasn't even made it to Double A yet. He's still a young kid. New York Mets love his makeup. New York Mets are very high on this kid, but Alex Ramirez still has a ways to go before he's going to be ready anywhere near ready to get ready for the New York Mets and the Major League team. So, not surprised at all. Ramirez is going to get to continue to refine his skills, go down into the minor leagues, play well and hopefully in High A Brooklyn, and then he'll get his opportunity to climb the ranks to Double A Binghamton, eventually get in the Triple A Syracuse, and then eventually he'll be up on the New York Mets main roster, and he'll see if he can compete for a top spot with the New York Mets going forward. The other most notable player that was cut is Kevin Parada, the former first-round pick back in 2022. Parada, he accumulated less playing time in the big leagues camp than Alex Ramirez did. And he only had 6 at-bats with the New York Mets, where the Mets, he picked up 1 hit and he scored 1 run overall, and he walked once and struck out twice. He is expected to begin the season with Low-A Port St Lucie. So, he's another guy that's still a little bit even further away than Ramirez is. Ramirez has been in the system with the New York Mets at least another year or 2 before, so he's just a step above where Parada is right now. But Parada, another young kid, going to take some time for him to develop his offensive game and just get ready for the rest of the Major League Baseball, the minor league baseball season. Don't expect to see Parada for a while, and especially since the New York Mets already have top prospect Francisco Alvarez, who right now is expected to start the season with AAA Syracuse, but it would not be surprising if he gets called up to the Major League roster sometime during the beginning of the season with the New York Mets. And he's going to be able to go out there and show what he could do at the catching position. He's really just being kept in the minor leagues as a way to help develop the rest of his game right now, since he is still a little bit weaker in terms of being an overall catcher for the New York Mets. So that's the only reason why that they're keeping Francisco Alvarez down there, as well as you have to figure service time. If they get to hold on at least another year of service time, if they keep him down there at a certain date, I believe it's like around April 15th, April 16th, and then after that, they get at least that extra year of service time, and then they can officially bring up Alvarez if they want and see how he is at the catching position, even though the New York Mets right now, they're going with Tomas Nido, and they're going with Omar Narvaez at the catching position to start the season. And Francisco Alvarez is going to continue to develop the rest of his game at the catching position going forward for the New York Mets. Because we already know he looks like he's going to be a pretty good hitter when he gets into the major leagues, but it's the rest of his game that needs to continue to develop. Obviously, his defensive side. So We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with Francisco Alvarez and what the New York Mets are going to plan on doing with some of these other guys. Eric Orze actually had a nice start here or there, but I think he's going to begin the season in AAA Syracuse. I believe that Josh Walker is going to begin in AA Binghamton. Hartwig, same thing, AA Binghamton, and Connor Gray, I think, is going to be in AAA as well. So the New York Mets have some guys in the pipeline, especially at the starting pitching position, who could potentially be factors going into the season later on. But right now, it looks like that the Mets are just going to stick with what they have on the roster at the moment, continue to get some of these kids more developed in the minor leagues, and then see how they are during the minor league baseball season, if they might end up playing a factor at all for the New York Mets as we continue to go on throughout the rest of the minor league baseball season, and of course in the Major League Baseball season and going forward. So that's going to be one interesting aspect to really check out as well, with some of the players that were sent down to the minor leagues, as well as there could be some other guys. There will be some other players that will be sent down to the minor leagues in the coming days. It's just a question of what players will it be, and if they're going to be having a chance to maybe get called up later on. We'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. So just wanted to throw out there some of that news around the New York Mets. Obviously, they've sent down at least 6 players, re-signed 6 players from their spring training roster down to the minor leagues. And amongst those players, the 6 players are Kevin Parada, number 3 overall prospect in the Mets minor league system, Alex Ramirez, number 4, and then starting pitchers Connor Gray, Grant Hartwig, Eric Orze, and Josh Walker have all also been assigned to the minor league systems. So if you guys like this video, please hit the like button below. Sub up to NYG Jeffy T85 for more news, updates, and chatter surrounding the New York Mets. Turn on the bell for notifications of the next video or short dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Mets. And you guys let me know in the comment section what you think about the 6 players that the New York Mets have reassigned to the minor leagues going into the minor league and Major League Baseball seasons on each respective brands, and if any one of these young players have a chance to maybe make an impact for the New York Mets during the 2023 Major League Baseball season. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take it easy, and as always, let's go New York Mets. All you got to do is you got to believe in those boys from Queens.